Dave Woodstock Courier here, back and better than ever with a new improved Boston Strong Fan Zone on the DC radio show with special guest Jay Joquin, who's ready to rumble and reinforce our stance in the Pats' drive for 5 as we catch you up to speed on the team. In the words of Bill Belichick, we're on to Buffalo. Yes, the Bills want Brady, and we accept that challenge. Be careful what you wish for. TB12 is throwing, chucking, jiving to that Gronkosaurus figure out there, smash mouth football at its finest. Jay, first off, what sort of threat does Buffalo present? They looked awfully good this Sunday against Andrew Luck and the Colts.
Well, division games always worry me. I guess after last week, what would worry me about Buffalo is the rush defense. You got LaShawn McCoy there now. Tyrod Taylor's the mobile quarterback, and you know, they fared pretty well against the Colts this week. And then this is Rex Ryan's Super Bowl every year, especially when it's when they're hosting the Patriots. So he always had a good game plan for them when he was a Jet. And I think it'll be much the same this year.
So overall, Jay, front defensive 7 looked great against Pittsburgh. Anything else special that we're going to have to do to shore up our secondary and create some mismatch on routes against Buffalo coming up this Sunday?
Well, you got pretty much a brand new secondary out there, save for McCourty, and it's going to be their second week. I'm interested to see who Malcolm Butler matches up against this week. Last week they had him on Antonio Brown, who's, you know, arguably the best receiver in the league. I think, all in all, he fared pretty well. He did give up a couple big plays there, but, I mean, he is a young guy undrafted. You know, we obviously know who he is here. Everybody knows who he is here because of the Super Bowl last year. But, you know, I'm interested to see what happens there. Rush defense, like I said earlier, it worries me a little bit because D'Angelo Williams, who really hasn't been relevant in years, kind of tore him up a little bit there. But luckily, I think the Steelers actually killed themselves a little bit on offense.
Yeah, for sure. D'Angelo Williams indeed did smoke us on that first drive going up and down the field. But don't blame the New England Patriots for the Pittsburgh Steelers' headset issues during Thursday night's opener. League spokesman Michael Signora said in a statement after the game it was a stadium power infrastructure issue, which was exacerbated by the inclement weather that caused the interference that troubled these Steelers after the Patriots' 28-21 win. The coach's communications equipment, including the headsets, is provided by the NFL for both clubs' use on game day, Signora's statement said. Once the power issue was addressed, the equipment functioned properly with no additional issues. Heavy rains hit the Boston area all day and then again during the game. The Steelers began having trouble with their headsets in the first quarter. We were listening to the Patriots radio broadcast for the majority of the first half on our headsets, and an animated Tomlin told reporters after the game. Tomlin said it's always the case here at Gillette Stadium, though he didn't imply the Patriots had anything to do with it. He added it only impacted coach-to-coach communication. Steelers players largely downplay this issue. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger said a couple plays didn't come into his helmet, but that happens. Linebacker Lawrence Timmons said any issues on defense were a product of noise in the stadium and the fact that it was the first game. Patriots coach Bill Belichick said his sideline also had communication issues throughout the game, and the issue comes up, it seems like, weekly. He said the league was on the verge of shutting off the headsets used by coaches, but then got things fixed. Asked if he got an explanation, Belichick said, "We never get that answer. They just try to fix it, and they tell you it's up or down or whatever. I don't know. That's not really a very strong area for me, is technology." How about some insight on this, Jay? More controversy.
Yeah, weekly. It's hilarious. I mean, you know, anybody wants to make excuses, Steeler fans, Steeler radio, whoever it is, I mean, you know, let's leave Gronk wide open on 2 plays. Yeah, that was your headsets. Or, you know, let's...
Gronkosaurus. Can't cover him.
Nope. And if he was covered, Scott Chandler was wide open. And I think we also have to look at Julian Edelman a little later. He had a great game, which I think kind of gets overshadowed by Gronk. But, you know, the Steelers headset issues, they had the ball at the goal line there. False start. Was that the headset? No. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's laughable. Headset gate. There'll be something next week, I'm sure, in Buffalo, and I'm looking forward to it.
And Tom Brady's helmet was also affected with the problem, which had to be switched out near the end of the game because coaches couldn't replay plays, Belichick said. Patriots radio analyst Scott Zolak said his cell phone blew up with text messages once NBC reported the problem. It's a shame, Zolak said, to think of what we can do in this world with technology, and we can't even get the wireless right. You're listening to the DC Radio Show on DaveCourierRadio.com. But I was completely complimentary of the Steelers and Big Ben. The New England Patriots made the most of their opportunity Thursday night to remind the nation they're the NFL's most successful franchise of the past 15 years. They weren't bad once the game began either. Once the banner was unfurled on the field for each of the club's 4 titles, owner Robert Kraft showed off the latest Lombardi trophy, and Tom Brady emerged from Deflategate with 4 touchdown passes in this 28-21 win. The Steelers cut the lead in half with an 11-yard touchdown pass from Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown with 2 seconds to go, but time ran on the ensuing onside kick. Chants of Brady erupted multiple times for the Patriots star quarterback, who at one point completed a franchise record 19 consecutive passes and finished 25 out of 32 for 288 yards, a week after a federal judge vacated his 4-game suspension. A chant of "Where is Roger?" also broke out as the Patriots put away the game in the fourth quarter, a mocking tribute to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who declined to attend the game, saying he'd be at Sunday's Green Bay Packers-Chicago Bears game instead. Among those who did attend, NFL Players Association Director DeMaurice Smith and Brady's lead attorney Jeffrey Kessler, who took a sort of victory lap around the field before the game. It was a triumphant night in stark contrast to the controversy that has circled the Patriots, who also were fined $1 million and docked 2 draft picks by the NFL for an alleged scheme to deflate football since their triumph over the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49. Massachusetts band Dropkick Murphys performed, and fireworks left a haze of smoke over the field before Kraft emerged from a tunnel and joined former Patriots Willie McGinnis, Ty Law, and Troy Brown, who held the other Lombardis on a small stage as the crowd roared. Many fans wore ponchos to combat a downpour that hit Thursday afternoon and continued as Brady took the field for warm-ups, pumping his fist and playing to the crowd. Elements weren't putting a damper on this party, and it didn't slow the Patriots' offense either. 3 of Brady's touchdown passes went to All-Pro tight end Rob Gronkowski, the last a 1-yard score with 9:20 left to go, set up by a 52-yard completion to Gronkowski after the Steelers had trimmed New England's 18-point lead to 7. The Steelers' offense moved the football well despite the absence of suspended running back Le'Veon Bell and center Maurice Pouncey. But newly acquired kicker Josh Scobie missed 2 field goals. Darius Hayward-Bay botched a sure touchdown by stepping out of bounds, and a Pittsburgh defense debuting under new coordinator Keith Butler seemed lost at times. Patriots safety Daron Harmon's interception on a deep ball Roethlisberger intended for Hayward-Bay spoiled the Steelers' last best chance with 7 minutes to go. One small step towards the Patriots' 5th title, and another party this time next year complete. Here are a few final thoughts of this past game by Jay Joquin. He works as a Shorex manager on the ship, and I'm sure the Jays had to listen to a few of these passengers talk about their teams.
Yeah, Dave, I think all in all, it was pretty satisfying. I mean, it's always satisfying to watch a game away from home out with the masses, and in this case, the entire restaurant booed when Brady ran on the field. And I was actually joking that they should start Garoppolo just anyway, just to it's kind of stick it to the NFL and their TV ratings. But Kraft gets a piece of that, so I guess they wouldn't want to. You mentioned Hayward-Bay and Scobie. That's what you get when you get players at the Raiders and the Jaguars that you want. A loss in Gillette on opening night. Looking forward to this Sunday. Buffalo's always a tough place to play, and usually interdivision games are tough anyway, and this looks like the division might be the best it's been in years. Still don't think it's going to be enough to take the Pats off the top, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing Rex Ryan again. It's always great.
Yeah, the Dolphins included struggled a bit in their game too, but found a way to come back, and they always give us a bit of grief too as well. This is the DC Radio Show, and it also includes recaps of the Boston Red Sox. So here goes. David Ortiz homered twice to become the 27th player in Major League history to hit 500 homers, leading the Sox to a 10-4 win at Tampa Bay. With an overflow crowd on the right field stands on its feet and chanting, "Let's go, Poppy," Ortiz reached the milestone when he lined a shot to right center on a 2-2 pitch from Matt Moore to lead off the 5th inning. He connected for number 499 in the first, driving a fastball from Moore over the right field wall for a 3-run shot. Tonight, I got 2 pitches that I don't see too much, especially from the Rays. You're listening to the DC Radio Show on DaveCourierRadio.com. When they miss off the plate, Ortiz said. As a hitter, we make our living off a pitcher's mistakes. Ortiz, 39, took his usual lengthy jaunt around the bases after his 500th homer, cleared the fence, and then brought his fingers to his lips and pointed to the sky as he crossed the plate. His teammates came out of the dugout and the bullpen to greet him with hugs. The Rays acknowledged the accomplishment on the video board. He joined Albert Pujols as the only players to hit numbers 499 and 500 in the same game. Ortiz had originally been scheduled to be off on Saturday, but he told the interim manager Torey Lovullo that he left good. Ortiz entered the game hitting 421 in 19 at-bats against Moore. He added a single in the 7th and was removed from the game for a pinch runner. Have a great week. This is Dave Woodstock Courier on the DC Radio Show.